What's up, guys? Welcome back for another Blacksburg Buzz. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Hokies baseball season. Looks like it's probably come to a close this week. Unfortunately, Virginia Tech went to the ACC tournament. They were kind of the first few out of an at-large bid after just really struggling lately in the past, month and a half, 2 months of ACC play. They had a couple good series to start off, and then after that, just couldn't quite get things going, and you know, losing a lot of series, some of them 2-1, and quite a few sweeps in there as well. So they had to take on Duke in the first round of the ACC baseball tournament. They had a 5-0 lead in the second inning, but Duke's pitcher Higgins, he had a little bit of trouble finding the zone for a minute there. He walked four straight for the first run in. Then David McCann hit a sac fly, brought in another one. Carson DiMartini hit one out to clean up the bases for a 3 RBI shot. Just a big one from him. Electric atmosphere there, giving Tech a huge lead. Tech scored one in the seventh inning on another sac fly and two in the eighth inning from a David McCann homer, but Duke was just nailing balls after a while. Now, before we really dive deep into these two games, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, Bet Online. Bet Online, it's your number one source for the NBA and NHL playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds when the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head over to the website today to get in on the action. And don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here. So, as I was saying, Duke was just nailing balls, which really caused the Hokies a lot of trouble. The pitching wasn't there, as has kind of been the problem this year for the most of it. The Blue Devils, they had 3 home runs, 2 doubles, and a triple, combined for 11 hits in total. Zach Morris, the second baseman, he was really the big hitter for them in this one. He had 2 of the 3 homers, one of them, the first one, for 3 RBIs, and the second one, 2 RBIs. So Zach Morris was getting it done for the Blue Devils, hit 2 out and 5 RBIs on the day for him. I mean, he was a big part of Duke winning this game. The Hokies, they had to go to the bullpen a lot. They threw 7 guys. They just weren't getting into a groove, and with Duke hitting so well and putting quite a few out, can't blame them for, trying to figure out something with different guys. I mean, you're looking at season probably on the line in the ACC tournament, so it's no surprise that going to the bullpen so often, but 7 guys through. Then in game 2, had to play NC State, and State was smashing top to bottom. 4 players with 3+ hits, 20 hits in total for the Wolfpack. The Hokies, on the other hand, they had 13 combined, and they just didn't really have the other numbers to match. All things considered, they were down a couple of walks here or there. They had a few more strikeouts, and while they only left 7 runners on base to State's 9, that's still a good amount and could have played a big deal in the game. The bullpen didn't really help either. After having to throw 7 guys against Duke, you're kind of working with whoever's left, whoever's still fresh. And, this was kind of the game right here. You're thinking, if you can't beat State after losing to Duke, this is probably the end of the year, with at-large bids probably going someone else's way. So once again, having trouble in the bullpen. Guys, even if they got into a rhythm, they just couldn't stay in it. The Wolfpack scored in 5 of 8 innings. They were hitting all over the place and just really slapping a lot of balls. I mean, 20 hits as a team. They were knocking them all over the place. They had three really big innings for State that really, helped them put away the game. It was the third inning, the fourth inning, and the eighth inning were the big ones. There was 6 runs in 2 of them and 4 in the other one. They grabbed a big lead after the third and fourth, but the Hokies did find a way to climb back in it in the sixth. They put up 6 runs of their own, so that was a pretty big deal. Gave them a little bit of hope after being down so big. It was 12-1 when they started the bottom of the 6th inning. And then after that 6 runs, you're looking at 12-7, so a much more manageable game. At 12-1, you're fighting for your life just not to get mercied in a couple of innings. And, a big conversion for them to actually make it a game where they could potentially manage to do something and come back. Good battle for them there in the 6th inning. They had an RBI walk, 3 singles, and 2 doubles to give them hope in that bottom of the 6th inning. But with State's big 8th inning and scoring in 5 out of 8 innings of play, the Hokies just couldn't overcome that. It was a big struggle for the team. And, that just kind of is how the season is most likely ending for Virginia Tech. I mean, we'll know for certain once selections come out for the NCAA tournament, but this is most likely it for Virginia Tech in 2024. Now, the Hokies, they did have some great individual performers this year after struggling a lot down the stretch. A couple of ACC team honors, including Chris Cannizzaro on the 3rd team for the ACC. Brett Renfroe also made the 3rd team, and the ACC freshman team. The pitcher was really good, the Friday starter for the season, and Renfroe was just dealing. He's been probably the best pitcher in the Tech bullpen, I would say, this year, at least in terms of the starters. And Renfroe's been really good in his first year at Tech. Really impressed with his performance over the year. Started off, I would say, a little bit better than he finished, but so did the whole team. And with the schedule the way it was, I mean, you start with the out-of-conference play, and then they had a lighter ACC schedule to start before they really got into the nitty-gritty with some of those top teams. I mean, Duke, Virginia, UNC late in the season. That is a really tough schedule to deal with late in the season. So it's no surprise there, but congrats to Brett Renfroe, 3rd team ACC and the ACC freshman team. Nice work for him. Then also Ben Watson made the 2nd team in the ACC. He was filthy this year. I'm actually in Morehead City right now broadcasting for the Marlins, and Watson used to play for the Marlins. He was here for a summer before transferring over to Virginia Tech, and he has made the jump up to D1 in dramatic fashion. ACC regular season batting average record, and he recently broke the Virginia Tech single season hits record in those last couple of games. So Ben Watson, what a performance this year. Watson has been ridiculous coming out of Elizabethtown. He stayed there for 4 years, then coming up to Virginia Tech in the ACC, and I don't know if anyone could make the jump better than that. It has been awesome to watch Ben Watson play. Just a ridiculous year for him. Let's look at some of the stats behind his performance this year and just how dominant it was. So Watson in the 2024 season, he's batting .419 after all things are said and done. OPS 1.061, also the highest on the team. Started 53 games, played in 54, 222 at-bats. That's about 50 more than Cannizzaro, who was the next best hitter, who hit 346 this year. Watson also with 51 runs. That's almost the most on the team. DeMartini had 62, and Christian Martin had 59. But following right behind him was Watson with 51. 93 hits this year, 21 doubles, three triples, four home runs, 48 RBIs. Number 10, he had 132 total bases this season. Uh, Almost led the team. DeMartini had 135, but really close race there. Slugging percentage, 595. He had 20 walks, got hit by a pitch twice, 24 strikeouts. A ridiculous season for him. I mean, 419 after the regular season and the ACC tournament. What a crazy year from Ben Watson. And what an impressive jump he made. Coming up from Elizabethtown to the highest level of collegiate sports and making the jump so dramatically, batting well over 400, that is incredible. Ben Watson with one of the most ridiculous performances we've ever seen this season. And it was just a pleasure to watch him. He had probably 2 to 4 hits every single game. There were a couple of midweeks where he went like 4 for 4, 5 for 5. He was really just the backbone of this Hokies offense. He's not that big hitter that's going to launch him over the wall all the time, but he is consistent, and that was really important for Tech. Just a guy that's going to get on base. He's going to get you a single. He's going to, knock in a couple runs here or there and just be a great option in the starting lineup to get a couple runs. And then he was really solid on defense as well. Played both sides of the ball phenomenally and just had a great year at Virginia Tech. I wish we could see him again next year, but I think Ben Watson is going to have a fantastic career. And then looking at Renfro's stats as third team ACC and the ACC freshman team, a 4.92 ERA. His whip was 1.39, 6-4 record this year, made 15 appearances, 15 starts. Really nice stuff for him in 75 innings pitched, allowed just 72 hits, so nearly one per inning. That's a pretty good number, I would say. 43 runs allowed, 41 of them were earned runs. He walked 32 batters, struck out 78, 13 doubles allowed, 285 at bats, opposing for batting just 253 against him. A great year for Renfro in his freshman season. Number 17 out of Manassas, Virginia, went to Charles J. Colgan Sr., and, the 6'3", 225 freshman was amazing this year. He really killed it. He was a Friday starter pretty much from day one. And what a year from the freshman. I mean, he just dealt all season and an amazing performance for a first year in D1. He was, a great prospect coming out of high school, but he really came and delivered this year. And it's going to be a pleasure to watch him play for the next couple of seasons, hopefully at Virginia Tech, because he really has a bright career ahead of him. If this is how he's going to start with a freshman season as a freshman team and a third team all ACC, I think we could see a lot of great stuff out of Brett Renfro down the stretch. And then you can't forget about Chris Cannizzaro, third team ACC. He bat really well as well, and then solid out there in the field, of course. 346 this season, OPS of 1.039. He started in 46 games, played in 47, registered 179 at bats, 42 runs, 62 hits on the year, 12 doubles, 1 triple, 12 home runs. He was up there in the team. We had 3 guys with 12 homers: Cannizzaro, Garrick Ebel, and Eddie Micheletti Jr. Carson DeMartini led the team with 21, but those 3 guys were tied for second place. Cannizzaro also had 49 RBIs, 112 total bases, a 626 slugging percentage, 18 walks, 24 strikeouts. A great year from him and just another great one. He has been great at Virginia Tech in his time here. Uh, the grad student has just been quite dominant, I would say, in his time at Virginia Tech and really performed up to every task that came to him, transferring over from Bucknell. Last year was his first year with the Hokies, where he played in 51 games and started in 45, and just a great second year at Tech. Really impressed with this Hokies baseball team. They've got a lot of great individual pieces, and they looked fantastic early on in the season, but just struggled to hold it together later on. But regardless, a great year from them and a fun season to watch. Hopefully, 2025 will be even better, and we'll see you then.